What is up? Winning team, good morning. It is finally Monday, the 22nd of September, which means, by the way, I will change the angle of my filming because this is going to be like a mini vlog or maybe a long vlog, who knows. But I just wanted to make a quick intro. Today at sunset, we shall begin the year of the Lord, as in the Lord's year, because when God, I'm going to do a whole video explaining this, by the way, but when God essentially had broken the Israelites out of Egypt, he was like, you now need to learn this whole new system. This whole system is different to the world system. They have their calendar, I have my calendar. And so today at sunset and all the way until Wednesday sunset will be Rosh Hashanah, the first date of the Hebrew calendar that the people of God were supposed to follow, along with a whole bunch of other things. That's also going to come with a special announcement for you all that I'll explain. Did I even invite the Holy Spirit? Holy Spirit, please be with us. That I'll explain in that video. So yeah, I'm so excited. It's Monday, my favorite day of the working week, because the weekend is over, and Mondays, I've always, since I started working for myself, I've always given myself Mondays as a day where I do like admin. I don't have to speak to anyone because it just works that way for me. And then I can enjoy doing my work, not having to deal with the Homo sapien. It's just been a thing since I was like 21. Yeah. So, yeah. And so that's what's happening. So I'm starting with running some errands while my laundry's going, and I have so much work to do today. Why do I sound so out of breath? Hold on, because I'm brushing. Yeah, I'm just too excitable today, to be completely honest. But that's because you guys have no idea the week ahead. Like, you have no idea. That's why I have to get a lot of stuff done, like today specifically, because tomorrow I'm going to be extremely busy, and oh boy, am I going to be busy the rest of this week, and boy, you guys going to know about it. But yeah, all things are swell. I just like to remind everybody how fun it is that I've got ChatGPT, AI, editing my document for me. Like, I'm so happy about that. Because, you know, guys, one thing I hate, well, not editing it, sorry, correcting the spelling and punctuation. Because I really hate, it's so funny because I've been saying to the Lord, like, God, I can't wait for the day I can pay somebody to, like, go through my work and, like, correct it, because the content is there. Everything else is just the fluff of making it all perfect English for the joy of the people, for the sticklers of the world who are so good at following the rules of the enemy. But so that's why I don't care to do it, because like my brain, I'd rather use my brain for something valuable. You know what I mean? Not just another frigging rule following, like, because why is this word spelled like this and this word spelled like that, and I just can't be bothered to. Why am I wasting? I'm 28. I've got my whole life ahead of me. Why am I wasting 1 second on that stuff, especially when things change? All of a sudden, it's in the dictionary. So I'm so happy about that, because it's something really important to do with what I'm going to tell you guys about when Rosh Hashanah officially hits. So I'm so excited for Rosh Hashanah. And also, I forgot to mention, I wanted to say here, I hope I remember to say this in the video. Some people believe that Rosh Hashanah is actually when Jesus would have been born. Like, it's more likely that this is when his actual birthday is, in September. Which I could see that. So yeah, but then again, I don't have any proof of that, or never done a deep dive. So take that with a pinch of salt. But anyways, the reason why I'm making a video now is I wanted to take you guys with me into the supermarket, because there's a few things I wanted to say about some products, because I've really been thinking a lot about just how it all started with a video I was watching last night, right? And this is what always happens. I'm like, I'm going to try and wind down now. I've done all the work for the day. Hold on a minute, guys. Hold on a minute. And, hold on. And then, hold on a minute. Yeah, I'm trying to, sorry, the lighting and everything. I'm trying to wind down for the day, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh, let me watch this nice video, right? No, wrong. Why do I ever think that anything good is ever going to come from anything, from humans? So anyway, unless your name, of course, is Jesus Christ, in which case you're actually God, which is why he is obviously God. This is what I always try to say, by the way, is my argument for why Jesus has to be God, because I don't get how that's not obvious to people. If he is, unless you don't believe that he was infallible, unless you don't believe that he never sinned, then in that case, I get it. But like, if you believe that Jesus never sinned, there shouldn't be any question to you about if he's God, because if he wasn't God, how then? You know what I'm saying? He obviously would have sinned then. He would have been a human only if he had sinned. If humans would never not sin, eventually we all do. I was thinking about this to do with children. Hold on, I'll talk about this in a sec. I was thinking, right? The thing about kids that's actually annoying, part of the things that are annoying about them, because I think there's a misconception as if like, I just think everything kids do is just the best thing that ever happened. That's really nice. That nice man was waiting for me. Yeah. There's this thing about kids that I observed, right? And that is, kids are inherently selfish, right? So if kids are inherently selfish, then, and that's how we start, what we have to do is we teach them how to be considerate. We teach them how to, not just take everything and just do whatever they want, you know what I mean? Be aware of their surroundings and all of that. Now, obviously, society takes that too far, where we now just expect kids to just follow some dumb, stupid societal rules just to make the weaker people in the population feel better, so they don't hurt their little feelings, so they can't handle tough conversations and tough things. So that's something different. But I'm talking about, like, obviously, you should be considerate of how you speak to people, how you deliver information, you know what I mean? Things like sharing and all this. These are the basic things I'm talking about. And it just made me think, we really are born sinners. Like, no offense to the kids. You guys know I love the kids. But we really are born sinners. Like, we really are born needing consistent correction. And I feel like that's why when we're born, we're like all over the place, running around, doing everything, bumping your head, hurting yourself, just like everything's just reckless, tipping things out, whatever, chaos, right? And then by the time you're like an old person, old people don't even a lot of times feel the need to do a lot of speaking because, they've matured, what we hope. A lot of people are suffering from arrested development, where they basically may as well still be that same damn toddler. They just ain't got the hips to do it no more. But the rest of their behavior still shows, so I just find that quite fascinating. So yeah, what was I saying all of that? Yeah, so we really are born sinners. Let's just say that we really are born sinners. We really are, like, by nature, just demonic creatures, to be completely honest with you. We are just, like, by nature. So I don't understand where the confusion comes between Jesus being God, because if Jesus never sinned, unless you don't believe Jesus never sinned, in which case that's a separate conversation, right? But if you believe that Jesus never sinned, he did what no man could do, that in itself is the proof that he is God. Because the rest of us, let's be real, if we were to... Who the fuck just beat their car? I mean, who are they beeping at? Anyway, if we were to... what was I going to say? Yeah, because if we look at it as humans, and it's even true now, like, this is like why we're in the situation we're in, like I've been saying about so much stuff. Now we're at a place as a society where, as long as you can find a way to justify not doing something for someone, then you don't have to do it. So, like, rather than us creating communities of people who care about you, because I feel like truly caring goes a long way, right? A lot of people will say it to somebody like me, oh, you give really good advice. I don't really think I give that much better advice than anybody else, other than the fact that I just actually take the time to stop and listen to what somebody's actually saying and give them a safe space where they don't feel judged. And people say that to me all the time. that, oh, you know what, I don't feel judged around you. I feel like I can open up to you because you just come across so unjudgmental. And I am actually unjudgmental, because who am I to judge anybody else, right? When I live with my own self, so I know I know, not as good as God, but better than any other humans, what I'm like. And I realize it's just the little things. People are paying for therapy. Why? Because they've got nowhere they could just have somebody that listens to them, is prepared to listen to them for as long as whatever, right? And unfortunately, there you have to have a specific time frame only, right? And be unjudgmental and let you just say your truth without, there being a whole chaos and everybody's own childhood issues and your own issues and my own issues. Because that's what I see a lot in relationships as well. It's like, you try and open up to your friends, or do they have the time to open up to you? Are they offended by what you said? Do they feel like whatever you say, that you've been feeling stressed and like you're feeling alone? Then they're like, well, what do you mean you've been feeling alone? I'm here. Am I not a good enough friend to you? And it's like, it's not about if you're a good enough friend to me. It's about that I'm going through this. And then there's all these things, you know what I'm saying? And the same with like, I just see it in every single aspect. It's actually fun because I'm going to be going to see a friend of mine, hopefully tomorrow, who actually is a counselor and therapist. So this is going to be interesting, because I just feel like the fact that they asked to see me, I'm like, it's a bit interesting. We're just horrible lovers. We have to outsource everything. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let's just take you off to the doctors. We're taking you to the doctors because, like, I say this as a woman, I spend a lot of time on thinking of remedies for stuff and researching them, like natural remedies. Like, I feel like if you love people, you want to look after them, you want to find like something that's good for them, like, whatever. But if we want to be lazy lovers as we are today, yeah, of course I'm going to go and just shove you off to the doctors and be, oh, I don't know what's going on, you should call the doctor. I don't know what's going on, we should call the ambulance. I don't know what's going on, let's go book a doctor's appointment. Maybe there's something going on, like push deeper. Like, I do that with myself. I do that with others. Push deeper first before I just run off straight to the doctors. I'm like, let me do self-assessment. Let me think about what I've changed in my diet, or what I've changed in my schedule, or what I've used different products, or this and that. And when I'm seeing other people, it's the same thing. Before I'm just like, I'll go to the doctor, right? Outsourcing as per usual. I'm like, let me think about whatever, like, what have you eaten today? What did you eat yesterday? Did you sleep well? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm asking questions as if I were a doctor myself, thinking, why don't you try this first? Why don't you try that first? But that takes time and effort on my part, right? And that's the thing that nobody wants to do, because we're selfish lovers, right? Again, what was the other example I was just thinking of? The education system, right? Parents are like, oh gosh, I don't have patience for my kids. Patience is one of the fruits of the Spirit listed in Galatians 5:22. This is why I can't stand Christian people. Galatians 5:22 talks about, and love, joy, what is it? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness, long-suffering, and I'm forgetting two more. Self-control. Actually, no, that's all of them. It should be 9. I didn't count. But yeah, so when I keep hearing people talk about, oh, it's so hard to be with kids, we don't know where you get the patience. I'm like, because I love the Lord who first loved me, and his love pours out of me, and his Spirit pours out of me, and the evidence that he is in me is that I produce the fruit of the Spirit that dwells within me, and one of those fruits of that Spirit is patience. So no, I wasn't born as a human, as superhuman, different to anybody else. I have the Spirit of the living God dwelling within me, and the Spirit of the living God that dwells within me gives me supernatural things that don't normally come from humans. And that's my exact point. It doesn't normally come from humans. It never will come from, never does, and it never will. And that's why God had to do it. And that's why I'm saying, it's like, I don't know, understand how this whole argument about God and Jesus being God is just not the most obvious, simple thing ever. But anyways, guys, I'm going to leave that there. I'm actually going to upload this as its own video, and I'm going to make another separate video about the other thing I was going to make a video about, because now I just feel like this ended up going another way than where I wanted to. But I really wanted to clarify this, because I'm trying to help us to think logically. I'm trying to teach you guys, like what I do with the kids, right? Break things down and actually think about it. Think about the nature of yourself. Think about the nature of kids. Think about the nature we're born into. We're selfish. We're needy. We have to be taught a lot of things. A lot of the good things we now do, it's because we're taught. Like somebody like myself, oh, when I was a kid, you now have a baby brother. You have to share. If I give you money, he should get money as well, because that's what's fair, because you're both our children. You know, you learn and stuff. And obviously at the time I'm thinking, Why does he always have to get something just because I'm getting something, at first. But then now it would be natural for me to think of my brothers when I'm doing things, because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's why even now it's sad for me. I find it really hard now, actually, to enjoy all the blessings of God, because I feel like I don't get to enjoy it with them, and it gives me a sense of guilt about it now. Obviously I've taken it maybe a bit far with that, but now I'm compassionate about it. At the time I was just like, really, do I have to? Why do I always have to share? Why do I have to this? Who's this kid now taking up to? Actually, I was an independent kid, so it was actually nice to have somebody to distract my parents so I could be left alone. I think I've kind of always liked being independent, to be completely honest, since I was a kid. I don't even think it's a trauma response. I think I've just always been an independent person. Please leave me alone. Anyway, anyway, this is our natural nature. This is how we are as humans. We will always inherently be selfish, and everything good that we are taught. This is why I don't know why people think they're good people. Maybe you're a good person because again, how good can you really think you are if you're a human? Because you can always improve. That's why I don't care about being a good person. I care about being progressive. I care about being somebody that wakes up today and does better than I did yesterday. Not, I want to feel good about because again, is that selfish? That's just you want to feel like that about yourself. Because again, that's why a lot of people consider themselves good people, in my opinion, aren't that good, because they just want to see themselves that way. It's not about actually being a good person. It's about wanting to feel like you are a good person. So again, hey, I think you should just go off and get this and go off and go and do that. You feel like a good person. People be like, I did my good deed for the day, which is good to do your good deed for the day. But it's like a lot of good deeds for the day. You gave a bit of money to the homeless guy. You didn't stop to have a conversation. Like, is that really you doing your good deed for the day? Or are you just doing what's easy for you because basically you had a couple notes in your purse or in your wallet anyway? You threw it their direction. That money probably would have got spent on BS anyways. Let's be real, right? Do you really going out of your way to do a good deed for the day? Because a good deed for the day might have been actually to stop and sit and talk with that homeless person as if they're a real human being. And you know what I mean? That real good deed for the day would have been, you know what I'm saying? Forge a relationship, make sure that they're okay. You know what I'm saying? And whatever. So that's why I'm just saying, like, when I think about this, and like I said, we're all guilty of it. I myself am guilty of it too. This should all be the pointers to us that, like, Jesus has to be God. Jesus has to be God, because humans alone, if you are self-aware enough, if you are humble enough to actually look yourself in the mirror and think about how well you are able to execute being a good person or doing the right thing alone without any other influence, right? Think about that. If you think about that, and if it's true that Jesus never sinned, then it shouldn't be that difficult for us to understand why Jesus is actually God. If you're thinking logically. That's what I'm saying. I know logic isn't a thing anymore in these days. And this is why everybody struggles with maths and science, right? And why some of us struggle with things like English, because I'm like, why the helly am I sitting here trying to rack my brains about the next new rule and the next new this and the next new this? Now they're adding words to the dictionary. So now I've got to expand my repertoire. The only way I'm going to keep up is by reading all books all the time. And the books don't even necessarily have to be adding actual anything to my brain. You know what I'm saying? And again, so, I don't know. I just realized this I was thinking about, kids, that, like, when you think about kids, the reason why they're such hard work is because that's us humans. That's how God looks at us. He looks at us as the reckless, chaotic, like, just all over the place, you know what I mean? Selfish people that have to be shaped and transformed by the renewing of our mind, as the Bible says. You know what I'm saying? And so for Christ to have come and done everything so inhuman, to be so loving, to be betrayed and not choose revenge, to be lied on by his own people or killed by his own people, and not then just be like, well, you know what, I feel entitled to not get on the cross anymore because you know what, you people turned on me, like what we would do. We feel entitled to revenge. We feel entitled to retaliate. We feel entitled because we were hurt and we are in pain and we went through something and it's all about me. Like, yeah, no, that doesn't translate. That doesn't all of a sudden become the Messiah. That had to have come from the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Because as humans, we could never, and we would never. That's why I know. When I think about how gracious God is, I think, God, you're truly a better man than me, because even as much as I'm close to you, I think that's above my pay grade sometimes. When certain things, I'm like, God, that's above my pay grade. Like, I wish I'm probably more gracious and understanding and accepting than probably any single human I know, right? And sometimes I'm like, Lord, I'm like, God, even me here, I'm out here fighting the good fight. And even I'm thinking that's a bit much though, isn't it, Lord? But that's why he is truly loving, and he is truly love itself. And that's why I realize about it's so suffocating about this world itself, and why I hate it here is the world is love doesn't live here. Love really doesn't live here. It's not love. It's not the sacrificial love that God has for us, that forgives us 100 times, pursues us consistently no matter how we treat him, forgives us whatever happens. It's not that love that lives here. The love that lives here is this fake version of love, this version of love where every single year, every single season, as we keep tunneling towards entropy, we find another excuse for the level of love to continue to decrease. We find another excuse for the level of love to decrease. We find another excuse for us to have to do, for doing less being more acceptable. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's a sad thing as humans. Like, it's a sad thing, definitely, especially for me to think about, like I said, as a teacher, and to just see kids to start out with so much hope and so much, like, there's so much potential. There we go. There's so much potential, but to just see it all be battered away because we've all just decided that this is just how things are and this is what we're doing. And in fact, we're doing even less and we're doing even less. And now children have to get labeled by the doctors and have to get all these labels. I get why a lot of kids in my generation are quick to want to get the labels, because they just want to get help. They just want somebody to actually care. And especially, and then the other older generations, y'all is just bitter and ineffective, for lack of a better explanation. You're just bitter and ineffective. So it's not that you're more tough. In fact, if anything, you're more weak because you're more fragile, right? Because your whole premise of your whole pride, of your whole self-assurance is in that you went through what you went through and you turned out fine. And so you, in your lovelessness, right? Anybody, again, who's truly loving, you wouldn't want to then go and put what you went through and turned out fine, which clearly didn't turn out fine. You wouldn't want to go and impose that onto somebody else, would you? You would think, because I'll tell you guys now, and I'm going to finish here because I actually need to get on my day and I will start another video. I'll tell you now, my whole life, everything that I do, and even these videos that I make for you guys, the reason I'm here is because I never want anyone, not even my worst enemy, to have to experience what I have on this planet. And there you go, guys. If life's a game, let's play to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one. Also, don't forget to check in for the Rosh Hashanah video because it's going to be so good. Anyways, guys, love you. Goodbye.